Good evening. I have a Lego Disney set tonight. You'll remember, if you're a longtime viewer of this channel, you'll remember a few months ago we did the Maleficent Dragon, and I said that I was going to be getting some Lego Disney this year. And I haven't really been able to budget for it yet, but there was a nice set on one of the Disney sets that's been on my short list of Lego Disney sets that I want was actually on sale for Target same day delivery today, so I went ahead and got it. We are This one's a big box, so let me just switch over the camera. There we are. You can see here it's the Elsa's Ice Palace from Disney Frozen, and this has been on my wish list for quite a long time actually, so it was cool to finally see it on sale. Um, this set, the Disney sets, particularly the Princess Disney sets, don't tend to go on sale very often, so this was a nice find for today. It comes with Elsa, Anna. There's an Olaf there. I see Kristoff over there, and there's even a little baby Sven down there. So it comes with a full primary cast. Let me just pull that out of the way, and here we can take a good look at the box. You can see it's got a nice big tall presence, but boxes never do the set justice. We got to build it to believe it. And another thing I really like about the set, besides the design, is is the color scheme. This set has a really pretty color scheme with a lot of icy blues that are rare pieces in Lego's color palette that you don't really see in a lot of sets, or when you do see them in sets, they're like a few pieces at a time. This icy color palette you really don't see that much. And even Lego Mario, which has an ice world, there's only like 3 or 4 sets that use the ice world. Um, there's 4 sets, I think, exactly, that use the ice world color palette. So, and there's no other sets celebrating ice and winter. There's no other themes that are doing the winter theme or the ice theme this year. So, it's a pretty rare color scheme. And enough talk, let's get into it. This is a big box. So let's see, front of the box. I'll show the back of the box, which is just another view of the palace. And you can see, like most Lego buildings, the back side of the palace is open, dollhouse style, so you can have them interact with the different rooms inside. And the door's open. Oh, that's cool. This picture implies that the doors have a slider mechanism, and that they open automatically. One of the Mario sets did that. And this picture implies that the chandelier can be dropped as a defensive weapon. Let's get this open. Hmm. It's a big enough box that there's no push tabs, which means let me reach over and get my tool and slash the tape. I just opened it from the bottom. Well, who cares? Because I don't keep the boxes anyway. So there should be, let's just open this up and get everything out. Okay. And I'll set that over here. And we, of course, have a numbered bag. So let me set these aside until we need them. Give me a moment to get organized. And it's a big box, but the piece count is only in the 600s. So not a terribly big piece count. It's not going to take too long to build this. Alright, I got those organized, and of course we have a packet here which contains the instructions. Bigger, more expensive sets often protect the instructions in these cardboard packets. So we have interesting, really interesting. Okay, we have 4 instruction books here. We have these 3 vertically positioned instruction books that are the side towers and the top tower. And then, so that's these 3 books here, which are the sides and top of the castle. And then we have this box here, this book here, in the standard orientation of the manual for the central portion of the castle. I think the idea for having 4 different instruction books is so that families can build together, and each can build a section of the castle at the same time and then put them together when they're finished. But I'm one person building them sequentially. But I'm going to do things a little bit different than I usually do this time. I'm actually going to start with the second instruction book. Because it has a different orientation, it will show up in the corner of my screen differently. So if I do this one first, I only have to adjust the display for the instruction manual in my browser one time. So we're actually going to start here with bag 2. And actually, before we do that though, I do want to open bag 1 for one reason. I want to get one thing out of bag 1. If I can find it. Yeah, there it is. So I'm going to carefully open bag 1 without dumping everything out. Let's see. There's one specific piece in here I'm looking for. Yep, there it is. I see where it is. So if I can open bag 1 carefully without spilling everything out. And then there's one specific piece to pull out of here. I saw it. I don't see it anymore. There it is. I knew the set came with one, so I didn't pull one in advance. We have a brick separator, and this is one of the rare teal ones. Usually they come in orange. I have like 30 brick separators because all the big sets come with them, but they all come with orange ones. I only have like 6 or 7 of these teal ones, so that's a nice treat. And it matches the color scheme of the set nicely. So because bag 1 is open, I'm gonna set it aside from the rest of the stuff, so this stuff doesn't spill out all over the place. And let's pull out the instruction book for the central portion of the palette of the ice castle, which is where we're starting. And of course, the other thing I forgot to show off is this foil sheet. The sticker sheet is foil on the set. You can see it sparkling against my limited light. That's going to look really nice when on the set, I think. I really like when they do foil stuff. And of all the almost 100 sets I've done with sticker sheets, I think this is the first one, or maybe the second, which actually had foil stickers. I've had foil pieces before, but they were like separate plastic sheets. There's only 11 total stickers for the whole set, so not too bad. Let's get into it. Alright, let's go over to my instructions. And it looks like bag 2, we're going to start right off the bat. We have Anna and her traveling lantern. By the time we finish building tonight, we'll have the full cast. The full main cast, I mean. Obviously, we don't have the side characters. But everyone who matters we've got in the set, so all... Alright. So bag 2 is open. And we're going to start off by putting together Anna. And these are not minifigures. These are the mini dolls. Lego Disney has the distinction. Oh, we need another piece from bag one, it looks like. Good thing we opened up bag one. Yeah. We need this little cardboard packet. Because Anna has a little cape. And they usually put the capes into these little cardboard packets for protection. Why it's in bag one? Well, because if I open this up, there's actually two little capes in here. So Elsa's going to have a cape as well. Well, that's nice. Elsa's cape is actually sparkly. We'll look at that later when we get to that part, when we get to her bag. So I'll actually close this back up and set this aside till we need it for Elsa. Meanwhile, let's get on with the putting Anna together. So yeah, with Lego Disney has the distinction of being the only Lego theme where some of the sets use the friend style mini dolls, and some of the sets use the traditional style mini figures. And it really depends on what movie the set is based on. The princess, the Disney Princess subline, those are all mini doll sets, like the Friends pieces. And then the Lego Disney sets that are not part of the Princess line usually use the minifigures. So it's pretty cool that Lego Disney uses both. Hold on, I forgot to look. Yeah. The good news this time is the cape doesn't cover back printing. Sometimes with accessories you lose some of the printing, but so here's the Anna figure. Wow. Let's. And now let's. She has a little lantern we're supposed to put together here. So there's a. There it is. So we'll push the little brick piece into the lantern. We'll clip the lantern into her hand. And there she is with accessory. And like we usually do for the characters, they can sit down at the front of the table and watch the build. Alright, let us begin. I'm glad I counted that. Sometimes the big plates, I do count them just to be sure. I mean, I know we're using the right one. It's the only one of that size in this bag, and that size and color, but I still like to be 100% sure, so. Lots of pretty colors in the set. Well, actually, there's only a few colors in the set, but they're pretty ones. I still have a bunch of Mario sets in the build queue, but I'm trying to save those for times when I don't have extra budget, because it's good to have sets in the backup. Also, I'm trying to space out Lego Mario a little more, because we rushed through a lot of the sets a couple months ago, so I'm trying to space them out a little bit so we can give other themes a chance. And depending on how my budget goes for the week, I might have one more special set to do next week. And then, of course, the following week we're in May, which means Lego Star Wars and Star Wars games. Okay, we're starting to see our first pieces of the mechanism here for opening the door, it looks like. We have these little turntable pieces, or turntable bases that we're about to put on. Those things there. And those will probably hold pieces of the mechanism for opening the door. Alright, give me one moment. I need to check on something real quick. Alright, so, yeah, the stream is working. Alright, so I just had to check and make sure the stream was working. This is the first time, I think. I've done a lot of Lego streams now, and I think this is the first time I've done the bags out of order. But there was a perfectly logical reason for doing so this time, which I explained, but you will see in practice when we switch to the next instruction book. And now we have an assembly to do here. This looks like the entrance hallway. Some more of these little transparent light blue pieces as well. Sometimes when I get silent, that means I'm focused and I run out of stuff to talk about because I stop thinking about stuff to talk about so I could focus on the build. But once I think of something else to talk about, I'll talk for a while building. But it's been a pretty uneventful day other than finding this on sale, so... So we just tiled off that plate with a bunch of jumpers. And now it looks like we gotta build some stair units. And yeah, it says this is gonna be a 2x. Why did it didn't say 2x up front? I don't know, but here we are. So you know how we do 2x's on this channel. So it looks like we're building little staircases for the moving hallway. Alright, these go in like this. And then like that. So this is our hallway section that we just put together. And this sits over the middle tiles like that where it can slide. And here we're putting in some gear assemblies to hold that in place. And we're just clipping those to the turntables. And it looks like, okay, so that's what the jumpers are for. They're for holding these bits in place. The jumpers on the top on the hallway are for interacting with these gear pieces. So the hallway's pretty secure in there, and it slides back and forth on those gears like that. You can see the gears turning as we move the hallway. And that's the first bag of our little castle assembly. This reminds me of something I've seen in a couple of the Mario sets. So now we're going to build bag. We're going to do bag 3. And my brother said I should be more mindful of phone notifications in case he tries to contact me. So I will check between bags. Nope, no notifications. Let's proceed. So this bag is going to start with Kristoff. Now, mini dolls and mini figures are for the most part incompatible, but they did make it so you can use hairs are universal, and the hair pieces can generally, with a few exceptions, work on either mini dolls or mini figures. Helmets not though, because the heads are slightly different shaped. Hats, it depends on the situation. But they do have the same clips for the hands, which means mini dolls and mini figures can use the same assortment of accessories. Here's Kristoff. He's got a tool. And we'll sit him down here with Anna to watch the rest of the build go up. Okay. So we have these interesting funky shaped pieces. And how do these line up exactly? They go on to here like that. And then I have to do one more of those. Studs on side facing back. That must be for some of the internal decorations. Unless this is the inside we're looking at here. It's hard to say which side is the front and which side is the back yet. That'll become clearer only with some more time and assembly. It'll become obvious. There will be one point during this build where it'll become obvious which is the front and which is the back. But we're not quite there yet. Or maybe it's obvious to you in the audience. I've done so many of these Lego sets and still sometimes they throw surprises at me, which is a good thing. Each Lego set is its own experience. So yeah, so this is another 2X that isn't 100% clear. You know how we do those on this channel, so this will be no exception. Or I should say, this will be no different than how we normally do 2X, which is where we do it a page at a time, both copies, and then we'll go to the next page, both copies. Okay. So there's clips, there's a hole, there's a pinhole, and there's 2 copies of this. So this is probably something important. Well, all the steps indicate important parts, but this may be a piece of the mechanism. Let's see. Okay, there's these little ice spike pieces that we're putting on the sides of this. Which, that's an important detail, so these bits must be something important. Okay, so these are going to be the doors. Those are some nice molded door pieces. You can see the light hits it and it sparkles a little bit. And there's some molded ice texture in there. But wait, if they have the door facing the same way. So we have to put the pin in. But I'm actually going to go to this page to actually put them in to make sure I orient them correctly. The sections, I mean. So we have this. So this is supposed to be pushed all the way in into the 0 position. And then these go onto here like this. And the doors pin on like that. So on this one, same thing, we'll put that one into that gear and we'll pin this door into the pinhole. Well, this one will go like this. And now we can actually put them on. And they're not secured yet. That's why they knocked each other over. But here, we've got doors now. You can see our little palace. As we push the hallway, the doors open and close. So now we know which way is outside. Because I think they open towards the outside. I don't remember the review I watched on the set all the way. But you can see they're not perfectly straight yet. These things need to be secured into place. So let's not play around with that too much yet. Here, it very clearly labels the 2X, so. Oh, I just was behind the doors. Sorry about that. You can't see through my fat fingers anyway, so. And these little 1x1 pyramid pieces, they're kind of pointy. And they're a little uncomfortable to hold sometimes. I can't think of any kid who would enjoy these little 1x1 pyramid pieces. But they're good for the details, so I'm not complaining. Okay, so what these do is these go over here like this. And these will secure those door blocks in place. So now, when I pull the hallway, these things won't wobble around, you can see, because they have these, they have these, these plate structures securing them in. So now, the door can be safely opened. Still doesn't look like it's lined up 100% though. Still have something awkward. And of course there's these little ice daggers for detail along the base there. And we have a sticker. That's the number 5 sticker. Okay, this is interesting. Oh, I see what these two shield pieces with the stickers are going to do. This is really cool. That's not centered though. I have to fix that sticker. I was able to grab it before it was pulled down all the way, so that sticker doesn't even have any damage from having to be fixed. Yeah, that's pretty centered. Okay. It's not perfectly centered, but it'll do. Here's a foil silhouette of Anna that's going to be attached onto these studs here at the palace, like this. And I can only assume this other shield piece here is going to get... Yep, this one's going to get the Elsa sticker. Now this one's centering matters even more because this sticker has a different background color than the tile piece. The Anna sticker used the same background color as the tile piece, so centering didn't matter quite as much. And I botched that badly. And this is a really nice sticker that I don't want to mess up too much, but there was still a loose corner. I think I can fix this. Well, it's centered, but a little crooked. Let's try... Yeah, that's good. Alright. Here's the Elsa silhouette. And I can't really get the light. That foiling on the sticker is really causing some glare, so it's hard to really show off the texture of this foil. But it's like the it's hard to put into words. It's like the crystallized ice crackle foil pattern that you sometimes see on trading cards. Except more dramatic, of course, because this is Elsa's ice that it represents here. So at the end of the second bag of construction, this is what the center section of the castle looks like. The door mechanism is completed, and we have these two foil stickers of Elsa and Anna up front. And you can see them sparkle in the light as I tilt this little piece of the castle around. And bag 4 has no characters in it. We'll be seeing characters again soon, though. We still have 3 more characters we're going to be getting before we finish building tonight. Okay. It looks like this... Now that the first 2 bags completed the mechanism, it looks like this bag is going to be where most of the structure for the front of the castle comes from. So I'll just... We're starting with an assembly, so I'll just put that out of the way for now. So we're starting with this 6x2 dark blue. And we'll see how it goes from here. That's a split panel they use for minifigure seating in mechs and other vehicles. I wonder what it's meant to represent here. Oh, I think I know what we're doing with this. Oh, this is going to be Kristoff's sled, I think. And then we're going to get to building the castle facade. Yeah. I can tell by the shaping. This is going to be... Yeah, this step makes it obvious. This is going to be Kristoff's sled. actually didn't know the set came with Kristoff's sled. That's a nice little bonus. I mean, I wasn't really paying attention to the picture. Once I saw that this was on sale, I just pulled the trigger. So I didn't really look at the pictures or anything. I had seen a review of the set a couple months ago, but maybe I forgot this. But I'd honestly forgotten the sled was in it, so that's a cool little bonus. So I think these bits on the back represent the ice blocks that he delivers throughout Arendelle. Obviously, as the boyfriend of a princess, he gets like a big promotion from that. He's like the head ice carrier person now, I think. Or something cool like that. He did get a royal title, if I remember correctly. And he even gets a little piece of an ice crystal. Oh, it's one of those classic. Oh, let me see. Is there a piece here I can... Yeah, I'll put it on here so I can show you without getting my fingers in the way. This is one of those classic rock formation pieces. You used to see these in sets all the time, but they've become rare. Relatively rare, I should say. They still show up occasionally. But yeah, they use these old rock formation pieces used to come in many different colors, including some transparents, but even back then. And the picture shows Kristoff sitting in there like his sled, but I can show it off real quick. He's already built. So you're supposed to wedge his legs in like this, and then the jumper doesn't really do anything. So that's what the sled looks like with Kristoff riding it. You can see his pile of ice on the back. Alright. We'll take Kristoff, we'll set him back over here, and we'll set the little sled off to the side. And is this going to be another unlabeled 2X? Okay. Well, the inset picture does have 2 copies, but I still like to verify, because this instruction book uses a slightly there's a slight variant to the notation they use for like sets that younger kids might be doing. Like we've done a couple 4+, 5+, and 6+ sets, and they use a slightly different notation. At least it doesn't get crazy with like the 4+ sets do, and with the whole use your hands thing, and he uses 2 pages for every step, and that's just ridiculous waste of paper there. But this one at least is mostly normal instructions, but it still doesn't explicitly stay up front 2X. It just shows you 2 copies of the inset picture for the sub-assembly. So I still like to bump forward a few pages and make sure. There's 4 smaller Lego sets that I'll be compiling for like a Disney special. That's going to feature 4 leading ladies. Well, actually, 3 leading ladies and a side lady, but more than likely that'll be have to be a June stream at this point. Is that the new satin trans? Well, that's a very pretty blue that we have on these sections here. So this will be my 3rd representation of a Disney castle after the Magic Kingdom Cinderella's castle set with Mickey and the Maleficent's Dragon Sleeping Beauty's castle that we did a couple months ago. And some little icicles hanging on front of these. And it says these go on the main unit. So what I showed off with the shields and identified as the front from this implies that it's actually the back, because in the picture, in the instructions picture, it shows the open side of these assemblies is pointing the same way as the shields, which means the closed side of these assemblies is pointing towards the front. But here's what the window assembly looks like. You can see that really nice variant on trans blue on the front of the window there. Some icicles, and you can see it's open on the back. And so it shows these going onto here like this, with the open side above the Anna and Elsa portraits like that. So now we know definitively the doors open outward like that. Lego Avatar was a fun series, and the new Avatar movie is coming out in about a year. I hope they do a wave for the 3rd movie, but it'll be interesting to see if they do, but I have my doubts. Well, Lego Avatar was cool while it lasted. There's another couple Lego themes that are only a handful of sets that I've put into my queue for this year. We're going to be doing Lego Animal Crossing starting in June, for example. I actually already did, technically, one small Animal Crossing set on this channel before, during my big minifigure stream last fall, but we'll be doing the rest of the Animal Crossing series in June, after we get past Star Wars month. And beyond that, more Lego Disney is planned for the summer, and who knows what else at this point. We're going to get a sticker here. So this is going to be the number 7 sticker, which is representing a music sheet. Okay. Why we have a random piece of sheet music behind the window, I'm not sure, but I guess we'll find out. Hold on. This is making me really curious. I think here's what this little bit of sheet music looks like. I think, but I'm not sure. I think that's meant to be the melody notes for Let It Go. I will look it up against my keyboard after my stream. I'm not going to interrupt stream, just on a hunch there, but plus I have to uncover my keyboard to actually see what it's meant to be. And it looks like we have another one of those little displays to build up. I know it's facing away from you right now, but I need to be able to see what I'm doing. So it looks like there's going to be another little display on this side. And this one is going to have the number 9 sticker. This one's much easier to parse. Oh, this one's cute. This sticker is a portrait of Anna and Elsa when they were kids. I know the foil makes it hard for the light to get focused on it. But yeah, this is I like this. So those two little displays, they go in behind the windows like that. Once again, I need to be on this side so I can see what I'm doing. Why are my... Those are the flex plastic. That's why the pieces seem to be slightly crooked. I may have to do a slight adjustment, pressure adjustment on the doors when this is done, depending on how it looks after I have everything put together. You know what? I'm going to leave the doors open for right now because they keep moving. This hallway keeps moving around on me, so. Okay, so the jumper studs along the sides are for interacting with the door gears. The jumper studs are in the middle are for posing characters. And we're just about to hit the hour mark of stream, and we are finishing up the third of 6 bags. But we still have 3 whole instruction books to go, so this was in terms of bag count and probably piece count, this was the biggest of the instruction books, but the what was I saying? The others probably have instructions that are even more simplified for kids, which is why they have so many pages, even though the other 3 instruction books are 1 bag each. And eyeballing this and knowing that there's another story that stacks on top, this may not even fit in the cube. This may have to be one of my top of the bookshelf displays. We'll see. I'll check my phone for notifications just in case after the bag, like I talked about before, and I just knocked something off. So let me carefully put that back into position there. All right, that's fixed. I really love the color scheme. I mean, I know I mentioned that before, but I'm gonna keep it. Okay. Alright, so we have here the snowflake piece. This is actually not the first time we've seen the snowflake piece on this channel. I think the big Mario set had one of these, the big Mario Ice World set with flippers we did a couple months back. And also, if you think way back, we did the Star Wars Millennium Falcon Holiday Party set. And I think there were 2 of these snowflakes pieces in that set. So we're putting some detail along the edges of the snowflake. So basically we're building a big chandelier here. Or actually a relatively small chandelier. But with the classic snowflake shape that's associated with Elsa. But when it comes to interpretations of Elsa's ice castle, there's always a snowflake chandelier, so it's cool that they included it here. Why don't these look even? It might just be the way the angles are. Alright, let's just keep going. I do have some nice plans for the channel for Star Wars month. I know for sure 2 of the Lego sets I'm getting, and possibly I might be getting a couple more, depending on budget. The really special one I was going to get, though, is probably out of budget, so that one may have to wait a while. Let me make sure all these bits are relatively lined up. It's not going to be obvious once it's hanging, so it's not really that big a deal, but I'm particularly like that. Alright, and then we get this bit here that wedges inside like that. And then a little it uses the other little classic gemstone piece. I'm not going to be able to show that one off, it's too tiny. But here's the chandelier, the snowflake chandelier that's going to hang. So it clips inside over the door like that. Oh, I see how it is. I see what's going to happen to the chandelier. So you come into the Ice Palace, right? And if you're a bad guy and the sisters don't like you, they can push this pin here and the chandelier drops on your head. I don't like having missiles armed, but this is a piece of the decoration more than anything. How about this? I'm going to set the chandelier aside, and I'll put it in when we're assembling the final scene. That might be the safest way to do things here. Oh wait, I'm supposed to be on the other side now. Okay. And you can see there's an abrupt cutoff in the structure and design. That's because there's going to be an upper tower that'll go here in bag 6. And this just shows how you attach the one tower to the side there. And of course the other tower, if you do the instruction books in order, the other side tower hasn't been built yet. So that's what the clips on the side of the base are for. So we have 2 play features. The main central structure is done. Let me clear the spare bits. We have 2 play features on this section of the castle. So here's the outside of the castle. Here's the outside of the castle you can see in the camera. And then the doors open by sliding the hallway. Okay? And then if you turn it around to the inside of the castle, and I'll open it so some light gets in there, you have the collapsing chandelier, and you'll also have the Let It Go sheet music and the portrait of the sisters. And we're off to a good start with this castle. Let's go ahead and get on to... Yeah, this is theoretically the halfway point, kind of, but I don't feel like I need a break. Let's keep going. I will set this structure off to the side until we need it again when we're putting everything together at the end. So now we will do bag 1 because bag 1's already open. And I'll do a quick adjustment to the position of the window so that we don't have gray bar. We only have the one gray bar that I don't know how to get rid of instead of a gray bar on both sides. We're not quite there. And actually, that thing is... Can I make the other side gray bar smaller? I can, but only by shrinking the instructions to the point where you won't really be able to see them clearly. So we'll put it there. And let me just recenter everything so that because now you can see the tabs in the way and everything, so. Alright. That's as good as I'll be able to get it, so. Readjust the table again because the front edge of the table had gone beyond the edge of the camera. And we're going to come back into the instructions. And we're going to start building the side tower. Obviously, there's the instruction page for the brick separator. And this page, this bag 1, which we've already cracked open, is going to start with Elsa. And Elsa actually gets one of the mini doll dress pieces. Anna got one of the mini doll girl pants pieces. But Elsa gets to have a dress. If we can find it in the parts pile, that is. I'm already holding the main body piece, but I need the dress piece before we can put her together. I do see the head and the hair in the parts pile, though. There's the dress that was hiding behind something. Now, which way is forward? It's hard to tell. This would be forward. The back side has no printing, so yeah. There's printing here, but the light has to hit it just right to show up. And before I could put the head and hair on, she does get a cape. And the instruction book shows the solid blue side being the inside. So she has the sparkly, glittery side for the outside of the cape. And she needs hair. Wow, the cape is actually longer than the dress. So when posing it, you'll have to bend the cape slightly. And her accessory is this magic ice blast coming out of her hand. Yeah. Oh, that's a cool figure. Let's see if I can do this without my fingers getting in the way. Here's how we're going to do this without my fingers getting in the way. I'm going to borrow this plate from later on in the assembly. There she is. Ice blast in hand. You can see if the light hits it just right. There's a snowflake pattern on the dress. The upper part of the outfit is shiny as well. Classic Elsa face. And if you look on the back, the cape glitters and sparkles as well. That seems to be a running theme with this set. Glitter and sparkles, just like Elsa's ice. Yeah. She can go sit with her sister over here. And actually, now that there's 3 of them, we can spread them out a bit. And we can move on to the build itself. So the next 2 instruction books are going to be the side towers. And then the final instruction book is going to be the top tower. wait, these aren't straight trans clear. These are trans satin clear. I don't know if I can get the camera to show, but those are the pearly white pieces that we're working with right now. Gotta find one more in this. There it is. And I'll go here. And I do have a special stream planned for Tuesday because Tuesday is Earth Day. However, there's a chance that I might not be around on Tuesday, in which case I'll do that stream either Monday or Wednesday. But I do have something special for Earth Day. Yes, it is Lego. Hmm. Okay, how does this go? Oh, I see what we're building here. We're building Elsa's bed. Complete with a sticker for the bed detail. Bed details, in my experience, have usually been brick built, but it's cool to see a sticker because that allows them to have a fancier design for the bed. But actually, let me put those bits in first because otherwise the tile's going to be in the way of being able to get my fingers in there. So I'll put these little white pillow bits on first. And then we can put the tile on. So here's Elsa's bed. You can see the snowflake pattern she's got going. And those pillow bits aren't perfectly lined up, but that's okay. And this goes into the little section like this. And this little room is so small, the whole room is taken up by the bed. Let's keep going. This is the okay, so this sticker I think represents a fancy rug. Yeah, that's not centered because it's going off the other edge, so let's try that again. It's been a little while since I've done any Lego Star Wars, so it'll be cool to revisit that in a couple weeks. So there's the little rug we're putting on. Okay, so these two stickers here are identical, so I would assume there's going to be one on each of the side towers. Different background colors, so I'm trying to line it up as good as possible. I'm not the best at Lego stickers, but thanks to Speed Champions, above average for the most part. The initial placement I usually get wonky, but I'm able to shift it before it's set, before I press everything down. I'm also not the best at eyeballing perfect centering, but this is pretty good. So that's what this foil sticker looks like that's going to go onto the tower. Again, the light is glaring against the shattered crystal foil. And that one actually just goes behind the window like this. So that's cool. That actually closes off the window from the outside. So there are some private areas of the castle. Okay, there's some cool stuff going on here. Okay, so we've got a crystal, a purple crystal, and we've got a snow globe of Arendelle Castle, which I will show you in a moment once I get it put together. That's not the piece. Oh, let me show you before I put the dome on, because it's not going to show up that well once I put the dome on. So you can see there the purple crystal. That's kind of in, again, in the satin trans. And you can see here the printed Arendelle castle that's going to go inside the snow globe piece. And the reason I wanted to show it to you first is because the snow globe piece is actually going to make it very difficult to see the castle inside. Like, I put the snow globe piece on, and you can still kind of see the castle shape a little bit, but you lose the detail because the colors don't contrast good enough. And this little desk, table, whatever you want to call it, goes up here on the second level of this tower. And then we have these window frame pieces. But these window frames don't have the little clips that you hold the regular window panel pieces in. I don't think I've seen this particular window frame before. Oh, I forgot a piece. And we have some more icicles on this level. Yeah, no, the effect would be lost. That's interesting. There's some hinge bricks going on here. Okay, and then we have this big fin piece here. That's looks like it hinges on the front of the tower. Probably for some shaping. So that goes there. Yeah, it says to point that up like that. So yeah, that's used for shaping. And then we have a little side assembly to do here. I think that, yeah, this is the only piece in the parts pile. Between panels. saw exactly where that one went. Hopefully that was the only time per stream that we have a eating. See, the problem is they just slip out of my fingers without warning like that. No matter how carefully I'm holding them, they just pop out of my fingers like that, so. This is probably some roofing detail. Okay, so, alright, how are we saying? So this one's orients like this. And this, oh no, not roofing detail. This is shaping detail for the side of the tower. So this is supposed to clip on to this section in here and line up with the front like that. Okay. Then this goes up here to hold that side section in place for the shaping. And then we get this piece over here like that, a snowbank in front of the tower. And some more little bits of ice on top of the snow. Okay. I think we're getting a little tree for the front of the tower as well. This tree is nice and simple. I generally don't like doing Lego trees because they're always so complicated, but this one at least is really simple and easy. And it's a cute little tree in multi-shades. And this goes in front of the castle like this. So let's clear these out of the way. And then we will show you the tower. So here's the front of the first side tower. And you can see the little tree as it sits out front there. And then you turn it around and we can see inside Elsa's little study area and Elsa's bed down there. I'll set the tower over here and we can move on to the next instruction book, which will be for Anna's tower on the other side. So we need bag 5. And bag 5 is going to start with little baby Sven. And baby Sven is the only character who doesn't really make sense in this context because Sven was a full-grown reindeer by the time the sisters met Kristoff and Sven. But little baby forms of the animals are cute anyway, so it's cool to have them. So he gets this little piece to fill in his back. And actually, I like the way I showed off Elsa before. I think I'll adopt that as my new method for showing off figures. So my fingers don't get in the way when I'm showing off the figures. We'll take a Lego piece and I can put my fingers on the Lego piece and show off the figure that way. So here's our baby Sven. Cute little baby reindeer. And actually, unless you count Mickey Mouse, who's a mouse technically, although an anthropomorphic one, and Maleficent Dragon, who's brick built, I think Sven might be my first Disney sidekick. And well, Sven is definitely my first molded Disney sidekick animal character. Let's put it that way. So let's begin working on this tower. And I have a feeling we'll see a lot of repetition from the other instruction book. So we should be able to kind of know what to expect and breeze through this book relatively quickly. We're still going to take our time though, because there's bound to be a few differences when we get to the interior side. Okay, that goes there. So yeah, this tower, at least structurally, is starting off exactly the same as the other book. Obviously, they can't do a 2x for it because the towers are mirrored. Technically, they're on opposite sides, so they're mirrored, and also the insides are going to be different because Anna and Elsa do not have identical personalities. It would not be a fun movie if they were exactly the same. Give me one moment. I forgot to check my notifications between bags here. Nope. Like I said, though, my brother got upset with me about not checking my texts. So, I try and check it periodically, even during stream. My mom and stepdad met him for dinner after his work tonight. They invited me to go, but I wanted to stay home and stream this because I like to do my weekly Lego build session. Okay. Time for Anna's bed now. Same deal as before. When we get to the part where we're putting on the detail tile, the stickered tile, and the pillows, we're going to put the pillow pieces on first, because otherwise my finger can't get in there with those little pieces that are hard to grip. So now I can come in here with the actual sticker and put that on. Same deal as before. The bedroom is so tiny, the bed stretches from one wall to the other. There's no standing room in the bedroom. So that's a pretty pattern she's got too. Anna's got a pretty floral decoration for her bed. And this will go inside the bottom like this. And there's the room with the bed inside. And now we can keep building. There's only 3 stickers left on the sheet, and I know exactly where one of them is going. Where's the other little brick? There it is. And then I need the white brick, and we can put the other sticker on. I know I don't technically need to show the sticker because I already did. It's exactly the same as the one on the other side, but it's a pretty one, so once I line it up, I'll show you again anyway. There it is. And this sticker, this little wall section, again, goes on the inside of the window. Like that. Oh, and there's this purple crepe piece here. Standard Lego crate. But I've never seen it in this lavender color before. I've only seen the crate in standard browns, grays, black, white, maybe a couple other colors that I'm not remembering right now. But I've never seen it in purple before. Let me make sure I oriented the window frames correctly on this one. Because, like I said, this is a new mold for them. Yeah, they look good. Yeah. Okay, so I can't really show this, can I? Alright, what we're gonna do is I need a pinhole or something I can put these in. Well, we'll use the carrot. Totally unprofessional, I know. On the end of the carrot, you can see a pink snowshoe. There's two of these, and they go in the crate for Anna to use. And the carrot itself also goes in the crate. This is this is probably for Anna to give to baby Sven. But there's the carrot itself. That also will go into the crate. So let's put up these icicles and keep going with the structure here, which from this point on, now that we've done the upper room, is going to be the same as on the other side, except mirrored. The rest of these steps are going to be the same. So we should be able to just breeze through the rest of this tower, because we know what's coming at this point. And here, of course, the big spike for the front of the tower to give it the distinctive shape. And now we do the little section for the side shaping here. Mm. Okay, so that orients this way, and this faces this way, and clips on over here. And now we secure that up. And now we do the little tree. And then we'll be done with Anna's tower. It looks like her tree is a little slightly bit different. But that's cool because no two trees are exactly identical. So it's cool that even with a simple tree build, they still put a little bit of variance in. And this tree will go here. So I think the idea is you're supposed to be able to, where did I put it? There it is. I want to keep this part accessible. I think you're supposed to be able to take the ice platform off the back of the sled and put the crate there instead, I think is what this picture is implying. Or maybe the picture isn't implying that at all because it doesn't actually show the sled. And I just dropped a piece, but it dropped where I can see it. So if I can just, there we go. If I can just pick it up, we can fix the sled and put it aside because I had no business. Yeah, actually, no, it's not showing the crate going on the sled. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see theoretically, does it work? So you're supposed to be able to take the crate out of the room. Yeah, actually the crate doesn't fit there. You're supposed to have it off to the side, and Anna can just go play with Sven outside, I guess. But actually, let me put the sled back aside. And actually, I'm going to leave the crate out of the tower for now because it's got loose bits inside, the snowshoes and the carrot. So I'm actually going to take the crate, set it aside, and we have finished the other tower now. And this shows you how when you put all the towers together, you start to get a really nice facade, but we're not ready to do that just yet. So here's the front of Anna's side of the castle. Very much the same look as Elsa's side of the castle. There's the inside. Obviously I took the crate out because of the loose pieces inside. And now with a little roof over the room, I can actually show you better the foil sticker in the back there, with not as much glare on it, so you can see the shattered crystal pattern on that foil. That's pretty cool. Let's set the tower aside, and we are going into bag 6, which is the central top section of the castle. Bag 6 will also contain the character you've probably all been waiting for. Actually, in the interest of good housekeeping for my Lego collection, let me take these and actually put them with the other instruction book I still have set aside from those. Alright, still no text. Let's get on with it. So here we have Olaf, and he has posable arms on his molded body. Of course he needs his carrot nose and his little twig hair that he has. So if I can just, there we go. Here's Olaf. I know you've all been waiting to see him since the beginning of stream, so here he is. He can turn his head. Oh yeah, because his head is a separate piece. We just put it on, right? And I will put him here with the other characters. And he actually has trouble standing, but he can't sit, so we have to put him like that and hope he doesn't fall over too much. So we're going to start with this long but narrow plate, and we're going to start putting some more pieces onto it. Did I mention I love the color scheme of this set? So many of these blues are relatively rare in LEGO's color palette. The parts pile in this bag isn't too terribly substantial. We'll be done with this build soon, I think. Well, I know, because we're in the last bag. When we get to the last bag, it always means we'll be done soon. I should slow down a bit. The person I want to raid isn't on yet. But he said he was coming on at 10, so it's not 10 o'clock yet, so we got, I mean, it is 10, but just after 10, and sometimes he gets a late start, so I'm not concerned yet. We still got to finish this whole bag, and we gotta set the scene. We gotta put the castle together. Right now I got 3 castle chunks sitting over here in my little side area off screen, and when we finish this last chunk of the castle, we gotta bring everything together and put it all together. So we do have 2 stickers left on the sticker sheet. They're identical, so I would assume they're meant to be decorations for the castle. Well, of course that's what the stickers are. That's what all the stickers have been decorations for the castle. I'm rambling now. We're just about to hit the 2-hour mark of stream, so my estimate for build time on the set was more or less relatively accurate. Not that I actually shared it this time, but I guess it would be 2.5 to 3 hours. And we're about to pass the 2-hour mark, and we've gone into the final bag, so. But if you don't count the talking bit at the beginning, we're 5 minutes out from 2 hours. But I'm just looking at my stream time counter, and that does include those 2 minutes splash screen and the talky bits, so whatever. I'm rambling again. There it is. Okay, so that's what this last sticker does. And actually, I want to put these pieces in, if I can, before I put the stickers on. Because these stickers need to line up. Because they meet around at the front. So these stickers need to line up. It'll be difficult with the structure already put together, but I'll do the best I can. Okay, so yeah, so they're symmetrical-ish. We want the bigger star on the inside, I guess it looks like. What matters is that everything lines up here, so I need to keep the pieces locked in the groove while I apply the sticker. Okay, that's not too bad. Let's get the other sticker and apply it to the other side here. Let's line it up as good as I can. Trying to make sure that the gap space, the buffer space, is equal on the two pieces. If I push this around, yeah, that's in. And it's not perfect, but I think I lined that up pretty well. So that's the last of the foil stickers going along the front of that central window there. You can see the light shining on them again because foil sticker. And of course the empty sticker sheet. And yeah, I'm not tossing that into the box like I usually do with the empty. At least, well, I will be, but not just yet. I'm gonna want to show someone first. Let's keep going with our build now. Yeah, that is the same. Well, that's interesting. Uses these little gem pieces. Yeah. The main thing is to make sure that these two bits line up. I am ultimately planning to put the crate back in Anna's room, but that's after we put the castle back together. So we don't accidentally spill the contents. Okay. So it looks like we take a little crown piece. Okay. There's a little tiara piece and it shows us putting it inside this little container, but I'm actually going to put it on Elsa's head because I think that's where it's ultimately meant to go. There's a crown. Most of the princess sets have one of those crown pieces in them. But hey, there's a little spare here, so this one I'll put in the case as intended. And this one I'm not worried about flopping around because the case closes. So there's the spare crown inside the case. Don't know why there's a special holder for... Oh, and it looks like there's another special holder. And this case is going to hold the silver cup. Sorry, finger in the way again. The silver cup. Standard minifigure cup, but here we are. Let's find the piece, the other cover. There it is. And this one opens from this side, it looks like. Let's make sure we can get the piece on. There we go. So if we open it up, we can put the silver cup inside. And that goes up here like this. So on the upper level of the central tower, there's a special cases to hold the crown and the cup. Let's keep it going. Let me see. I'm making good speed through this bag, and I'm starting to panic about the raid I'm supposed to do later, so they're not on yet. If I have to stall for a few minutes, I got a little poly bag. Actually, yeah, if he's not on yet, we'll do the Animal Crossing poly bag that I have as kind of a preview for coming attractions in June. If he is on by the time I finish with this instruction book, or I'll stall for a couple minutes, and if he's on by the end of stalling, I'll just save the poly bag for when I'm actually doing the Animal Crossing stuff. It really will only give us like a couple extra minutes anyway, so maybe I won't do that. Maybe I'll just, yeah. We won't do the Animal Crossing poly bag today because I don't have out the other Animal Crossing poly bag set that I did before, and so there's nothing to pair it with. And well, that's already built, so it wouldn't be a pairing anyway, but I'm rambling again. And I'm quickly running out of pieces here. I'll see if I can stall for a few minutes. Maybe we can go to Bricklink. I can open up my browser and we can go to Bricklink and look at some of the more exotic pieces in my collection. We can probably stall a few minutes doing that. that's cool shaping there. Yeah, it lines up there. And then we have some more of these lightsaber blade pieces sticking out the sides. These probably represent bits of ice, decorative bits of ice. And then we have a stack of these 3 ring plates, which, given their transparent design, I actually have to figure out how they line up because it's so hard to see the studs given their transparency. But hey, we got there. So this little ring goes on top like this. And then we're building up the top of the tower here. And I'm almost out of pieces. For a set marked 6+, this is pretty big in its complexity. But in terms of overall build, it was a pretty easy and straightforward as far as builds go. After all, you know, 6+ and all that. But as a Disney fan and a Lego collector, the age recommendation on the box doesn't mean anything to me. All sets, or I should say, all sets are good for Lego collectors. So we put this big, nice snowflake piece on top, like that. And then it looks like there's one more little tower bit. Up here, on top of the snowflake, with a little snowdrop, white snowdrop there, and top little spire there. Let's take these bits off. And so that completes the central tower officially. The interior isn't much. You got the storage for the crown and the cup. And you got a nice little room leading out to a balcony there. Here's what the front of the tower looks like. Let me set this over here. Let me, and that just shows this lines up with the top. Alright, so the plates line up. Alright, that's how that works. Okay. That's the end of the instruction book. Let me make sure I can do the things I need to do for end of stream. We're not done quite yet because we have to put these all together. I can stall for a couple minutes here because we have to actually put the castle together. And once again, I knocked a piece off as I was picking this up. So a good place to start is, of course, with the main section of the castle. Let me fix the piece that I knocked off. And we will close the door. And I will chandelier's hanging in place and ready to go. Obviously, I'm not going to drop it. Why aren't these doors lining up? Can I flex that one a little bit? If I flex this one a little bit this way, maybe. No. Alright. So So this door is too far forward, so let me see if I can flex the tip back a little bit. Carefully now so I don't break the piece, of course. It's lined up a little better. Still, let me bend it back a little more. Yeah, it's still too far forward. I want this piece to lean in a little bit better. Could I maybe alleviate the issue by making a subtle turn on its pin? No. What we want to do is we want to make sure that's even. I do have other rate options, it looks like, in case he doesn't sign on by the time I finish playing around with his castle. But we're going to take our time and enjoy this castle. We're not going to rush out of here if we don't have to. I still want to try and fix up the door a little bit. Looks like the whole piece actually is the tip. There's definitely a warpage on the tip there, but it looks like the whole piece. And I just released the whole section. I need to reconnect the door. Alright, let's re-secure that. Okay, I think okay, now it's leaning poorly another way. So yeah, that looks like it's squarely against its side now. So now we need to resolve gapping issue on this side of the door. And they're pretty good. It's not perfect with the auto close, but if I put my finger in there, I can get them to line up for the most part. Although there is some warping on these more flexible, bigger door pieces here. You can see there's some gapping and some warping going on. And of course I just knocked down the chandelier. But I didn't knock it down from the launch peg. I knocked it down from I knocked it off the launch peg while the launch peg remained secure. Alright, the chandelier is set. The doors are as closed as they will be. And now we can start adding in the rest of the castle. Okay, so it looks like it gives you a choice how you want to layer the castle. Do you want to make it even? Because it gives you the clips to make it roughly even, or you can shape it a little. We're gonna give it a little bit of depth, I think. So if I take this other tower and attach this tower to this side, and let's make sure I get the connection on the bottom in. Alright, so the towers are attached. Okay, and he's still not here. We'll need to stall for a few minutes. Okay. Looks So now let's come here. Let's get the top tower, and that will go on like this. And wow, the castle's so tall, I can't even get the whole thing on camera. Wow. It's very thin though. Like most Lego buildings, it's really just a facade. But it's a good backdrop for a Disney scene in a display. But it might be taller than the cube. Give me one moment. I'm actually going to take the side towers off and go measure the central tower against one of my display cubes. Because if it doesn't fit, it will have to go on top. Okay, it's just barely fitting. It'll fit there. Okay, see what has to happen here. So I just measured this against my display cube, and I can just barely make it fit if I take the snowflake off the top of the tower. I'll probably display it with the doors open, and that will allow me to hide the fact that the doors are warped. Because with the doors open, it won't be apparent that the doors don't close properly. Here's an idea for a display, but have Maleficent Dragon attacking the ice castle. That's it. I mean, Disney already crossovers all the princess stuff anyway, so why not? Watch, if I decide to end stream and raid out to someone else, he'll show up 5 minutes later. I know the way these things work. Alright, so we have the castle all put together. As you can see, it doesn't fit in the frame of my camera. If I carefully pick it up, and yeah, no, that's not going to work. But I can tilt it forward so you can see the snowflake on top. But we lose the top of the top tower. So let's pull everything back. And brick separator. It doesn't need to be on screen. The farther forward we go, the more of the tower we get. But I can't give you any more room, because otherwise I won't have room to sit. So, final spread, we're actually going to be cut off a little bit. We'll open the castle door. And that actually, let me go on the front and do some display things real quick. So let me see. We can have Olaf waving from the balcony here, I think, if I can get him to stud in. The picture in the manual showed him waving from the balcony. Maybe he was on the inside layer of the balcony, like this. Yeah, he studs in there. Okay, so we'll have Olaf waving from the balcony, although he has to be put on the inside. We'll have Elsa down here at the entrance of her castle, inviting her guests. So we'll put her on the studs here in the castle hallway. And before I finish, let's just do that. And we'll close the door. And I'll turn this around. And so, closed castle, right? And then the doors open, revealing the queen come to greet her guests. That's a pretty cool look there, I think. That's how we'll do it, except we'll leave the door open now that we've done the effect. And let me pose her little magic effect. So we've got Elsa and Olaf posed. And now we can put Kristoff on his sled. And he can be coming in to make a ice delivery at the Ice Palace. And Anna is there to meet him. Maybe. I didn't really leave enough room in the corner of the... Hold on, let me check my text real quick and I'll see what's going on here. Alright, I gotta stall for a couple minutes. So we got Elsa. You know what? Let's do another close-up on the figures while we stall here. Let's see. Let me see. Can I take that? Yeah, I want that plate. I need to take the sleigh partially apart so that I can show off the figures again. There we go. I got the piece I wanted. It probably would have been easier to take a piece from somewhere in the castle, but here we are. I just popped a piece off the sleigh so I can show off the characters again. So here's baby Sven. The reindeer, of course. Get a good look on him. And here is Kristoff. Oh, I have to... Let me see, I can hold it like this. It's a little less awkward to hold it like that. So there's Kristoff. And now let's fix the cape. Here's Anna. Here's Olaf. And Ice Queen Elsa. I do like the hair mold. They got her distinctive braid on the back. I don't think I showed off Anna's hair mold. Kristoff is just standard boy hair, so the back detail isn't really all that important. They got Anna's braids too. Let's fix the sled. One more look at the sled close up. Oh, I want to put the ice back on it. No sign of my normal Saturday night raid. We'll finish setting the scene, and then I'll probably just have to call it and pick someone else. Alright, how did I have this? I had Olaf coming out to the balcony. So he was sitting here. Or I should say standing. Olaf can't sit. And then I had Kristoff on the sleigh, but I had not placed the sleigh yet. So Elsa I had in the hallway. It also makes sense to put Elsa on the balcony and Olaf in the hallway, but I just knocked her crown off. The fact that he hasn't responded to my text yet implies that he's either busy or sleeping. If he's busy, that means he could very well be setting up for stream, but the fact that they haven't started yet, since they started 10, means that they were having technical difficulties. Anyway, I'm right at the 2.5 hour mark of stream. I don't have anything else to stall with. I think I can set the scene and then talk for a few minutes. Because, I mean, Frozen's a good movie. There's a lot to talk about between Frozen and Frozen 2. So, we've got Elsa in the hallway of her castle. Again, I can't get this top of this castle in frame. And I can't even pull the hallway back to close it because Elsa's magic is in the way. But let's turn the magic that way so that you can not quite in her face. We'll tilt it forward so you can see the snowflake a little bit. And now we will leave it open. Can I pull back any more? That's as much of the tower as I'll be able to give you. Okay, once again, another star of the show, the relatively rare teal brick separator. I've got a few of them now, but usually they come in orange. Okay, so we have the sled, Kristoff and his sled, and then we will put baby Sven with them. And just for a little bit of visual balance, we'll put Anna over on this side, I think. And we can Since I don't have any studs to put her on, I think we can use her lantern as kind of a third leg to help her stand. Since I often have that problem with figures. But you can, that's a good tip for to share about figures, by the way. When you have trouble having your Lego minifigures and mini dolls stand, when you don't have studs to put them on or base plates, and you just have to stand them on the table, if they have trouble standing, if they're holding an accessory, certain accessories are long enough, they can actually position them against the surface and use them as a third leg. And the little crate one more time. I think I'm just going to put this back in Anna's room for some visual balance here. Because Elsa has that really nice desk with all the stuff on it. Okay, that wasn't connected all the way. And really, that's all I can do here. I'm confused now. Alright, let's just raid someone else. Who do we have that excuse me a moment while I try and figure out who we're raiding. I'm waiting for the stream counter to come up to see. 3 hours. Yeah, she'll probably quit soon. Who else do we have available? We could do another new channel discovery like we did. Live gig or studio show. Actually, I think she has raids turned off. Let me see how long they've been going to. And I don't even remember who that is. So I have like 4 musicians in my list right now, but one of them has a lot of viewers and will not see the raid. And they might even have raids turned off. And another one, I don't even remember who they are. And the other one, we just raided a couple streams ago, and I try and do... I try not to raid the same people all the time. The exception, of course, is John Lee is like our default backup because he's always going late night. But even then, I don't raid him if he's doing his music video loop, which is what I think he's doing right now. Okay, 45 minutes. That's a possibility if they accept raids. Two and a half hours. They'll probably be quitting soon, but not immediately. Live gig, they won't see the raid. Alright, I think I've decided here. We're going to raid, we're gonna raid Gigi Melodies tonight. Because, the other musician who's on, who I know is a safe raid, we just raided her last week, so... Hopefully Brett will be back next week for his regular Saturday stream, which he's missed a lot of weeks recently on the Saturday stream, but hopefully he'll be back and we can raid him next week. I don't know what Lego I'm doing for next Saturday yet, but I do know that we have a special stream planned for Tuesday, which more than likely will probably either be a Monday stream or a Wednesday stream. I might even, or if I don't have the, I think I might just automatically say Monday here for that, because it's a pretty safe bet we'll be doing the thing on Tuesday and I won't be home in the evening. So we'll do my Earth Day stream on Monday instead of Tuesday. Alright, we're going to rate Gigi. Have a good night, and I will see you soon. This was fun. There will be more Lego Disney after Star Wars month, and we'll also be doing Lego Animal Crossing. I have another couple special Lego things planned for over the summer. Have a good night, and I will see you soon. We'll also be doing. I will see you soon.